Hello there. How are you? Hope you're having a great Wednesday night. I don't know if you have been seeing all of the summer release projects. There's a ton of them popping up on the Brutus Monroe Facebook page, on the Instagram page, for all of the really beautiful things and fun things on the summer release. All right, let's get started. I'm excited. So one of my favorite things from the summer release is this homemade lemonade set. So I've just got the stamps, but there are dies that match, and they even cut out the sentiments. And there are also some really cute stencils. Trust me, eventually I will have them. I just have to budget. Dang it. That dang budget always gets in my way. But anyway, the stencils are really fun too, because you can use those to fill up your pictures and your glasses, and it's just way cute. So we're going to use this set today. And then also, Christopher created a couple of new stencils, maybe a month ago or so they came out. Maybe not quite that long. And I have been dying to play with tonight. This one's called, what is it called? Fancy Fan. So we're going to use this, and we're going to use this is the first time, other than I made a picture for the website just to show how to use this, but this is my first time really playing with my stick and stamp buddy. Whoa, hi Nicole. So let's get going on this. First thing we'll do is we'll set up our stick and stamp mat. So our stick and stamp mat, we need to take the film off. I keep that so that I can keep the dust and all that kind of stuff. I have dogs, so dog hair, everything off of it. And the paper that we are using is going to be a little smaller than a typical A2 card. So I'm going to use this, and do what you want, but I use a little bit of, I'm using glue dots because they peel off easily. I'm using those with my paper so it will stay where I want it to on the mat. So I'm just going to, this paper is Aqua Pigment paper, in case you're wondering. I wanted that little extra texture today. So we're going to just situate that in the middle. And then the stamping buddy, the blending buddy. I'm so sorry. I get all the names mixed up. This is the blending buddy. This goes around it so that when we're doing our ink blending, it's not going to get all over my mat. I love that. But
she's been busy working.
Oh, Nicole.
Here for a month of May. So had some unfortunate problems with technology.
Oh, Nicole, I'm glad you're here tonight. So I'm just going to add a little bit of tape just because I like insurance. Let me just be honest. I just want to make sure that it's not going anywhere. And then, so the stick and stamp mat has these little notches in it. Can you see that? So that when you want to use your stencil with it, you can just slide them right up in those notches. And they're on all four corners, and it fits 6x6 stencils perfectly. And then I am going to actually add just a little bit more. It can shift just a little bit, but it gives you a good base as far as lining things up. Where is the end of my tape? Do you ever do that? There we go. Okay. So I am going to just...
Where's the clear skies or the ground me?
I know. Can you believe I'm not using Clear Skies? And I'm so sorry I'm not using Crown Me either. We are going with citrusy colors today. We're going to make some citrus slices. Okay. I think we're pretty well secure. And you probably don't need to do as much as I did, but because I'm live, I like to cover all the bases. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take, this is Simon Hurley Shooting Star ink. Also, if you look on the website, he released 3 new colors this week, which, dang it, there goes my budget again, right? Oh, you know what? I did this wrong. I'm so sorry. After all that setup, now you know how to set up. So my next round, I won't go through all of that, but I just realized that I forgot a step, which requires doing this part without the stencil. Sorry, I'm a goof.
Donna F is watching.
Hi, Donna. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start at this end and we're going to do some ink blending.
Nicole said, I missed your lives. I've become more frugal lately. Thankfully, Thankfully, it has been because of my year-old Android phone decided it was done.
Oh, Nicole, I totally understand. I have to be pretty frugal myself, and I'm just glad you're here.
Phones are expensive now.
Phones are crazy expensive. They are crazy expensive. Okay, so we've got our yellow pretty well in there. I might just do one more go through on that. All right, and we're not going to put it very far away because we're going to use it again. And now we'll use our orange. This is actually called Guppy. It's a really pretty yellow orange. I like it. Darren is putting up the links, and thank you, Darren, for moderating. Darren is putting up the links. If you hit the link, it should take you to everything I use. I even put a couple of things on there that I mentioned that I don't use, so hopefully that'll make it more convenient for you to find the things that you're looking for.
We got the entire summer release bundle in there too.
Darren put the whole, a link to the whole summer release bundle so that you can look it over, especially if you haven't seen it yet. And then this is Prom Queen. And I think I'll start with whatever's on my brush because it is a little richer shade sometimes and I don't want to overpower it. So we're going to kind of build on this one a little bit slower. Can you guys see? Yeah, you can see. I've got I put this on here so that at least some of my light would be blocked. Looks like I didn't block all of it, but at least it's not glaring at you too bad. This one is, but the other one isn't.
Nicole said, anyways, I'm back to an Apple, and since my computer crashed, the blue screen of death Saturday, she found a great deal on iPad Air. So she used a Cricut with it.
So you've got a new phone and then your computer crashed, Nicole?
Yeah.
Oh, I am so sorry about that. I am glad that you can use your Cricut with your phone though. But oh, it seems like that's the way it always happens. It seems like everything breaks at the same time. I totally feel for you on that. And then I'll just maybe do it just a little bit darker on the bottom. But I think we've about got that covered. Okay, so now I'll add the stencil, which I have shown you how to position, so I won't go over that again. Just that it's got the little notches. And I think we want it about right. Let's do it about right there.
Brutus Monroe said that's the perfect
I'm not sure who's speaking for Brutus Monroe, but whoever it is, thank you. I think it's a perfect pink lemonade color too. Hi, Candy. Candy, I do the same thing all the time, so I kind of suspected it was you. Okay. So now we'll go to that step that I tried to jump to right ahead. So I'm just going to take that yellow again, the shooting star. And
She misses shopping Brutus Monroe, but she does get the Stamp Plus every month.
Oh, that's good, Nicole. I know sometimes there are just seasons where you just have to be more careful, and then, you know, it's always nice when you can have some fun some more. But yeah, we love you to come and be part of our lives regardless. So thank you for joining. Okay, so this is Guppy again. And we're going to use this. I'm looking at the sample that I did earlier and I flipped it. I used the other side, so it's throwing me off. What was that?
Nicole likes Stamp Plus, is only $10.
Yeah, Stamp Plus, that club is a great monthly subscription club that Brutus Monroe offers. It includes a 2x3 stamp set and also the die that goes with it. And the shipping, I believe, is included in that. So that is a really... One thing I love about Brutus Monroe is that there is a subscription for everybody. For all... You know, sometimes we're doing better than other times. So some seasons are rougher than others. But, yeah, from everything from the Stamp Club, the Stamp Club Plus, and the Inspiration, all the way up to the Inspiration Box, I think they're all an incredible value. I absolutely love the Inspiration Box. That is a splurge that I think is well worth, if you can do the Inspiration Box, it's well worth the splurge because they are just a great value. You get so much for your money. Okay.
Candy, which fake is this again?
This is Prom Queen. Prom Queen? Prom Queen. Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna have to think backwards because like I said, when I did my sample, I flipped this one and this one because I did it on the other side of the stencil. So my whole layout was flipped, but it should be just fine. It's just gonna throw me a little bit. All right, so let's see what that did for us. All right, so we've got our background and you can see our mat is protected.
Donna Ferrell says hi.
Donna, how you doing? Okay, so now all I'm gonna do is you can use the stamp mat cleaner. Actually, I'll grab mine. To be honest with you, sometimes I just grab this because I just squirt it on my microfiber cloth. But there is a cleaner specifically formulated for your mat. So I'll use the proper one. After all, I am live.
Okay.
You're tired, but you're okay? Well, that can mean a lot of things. It can mean you had a good day, a productive day, or it can just mean you need a rest. But I'm glad you're doing okay. All right. And now I know Candy stores hers, just keeps it on her mat so that she has it all together, which I think is a smart idea. And I think my glue dots were left behind. So I'll just take those off in case I don't want them on a project. And they come right off for me. So I think that works out great. And looks like I'm losing my stencil. Hang on one sec. So we'll just clean off our stencil and we can move on to the next step. Just gonna move my mat out of the way for a minute.
Candy said she does and it keeps it clean and ready to go.
That's awesome, Candy. Candy has great storage ideas. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a quick little wipe off so that it'll be ready to go when I want to use it again. I'm not completely concerned that it's like pristine. I think it's pretty okay right now. I might go back and clean it more later, but for now, we're good. All right, so now let's go on to the next step. The next step is that we are going to use our cute little citrus slice. But first, look at me, I'm trying to jump the gun again. We're gonna do the same thing we did before. We're just going to do some ink blending. And this is a nice, quick way to use this set. And you don't need as much ink as I'm using, but I'm working quickly, so I'm not messing around. All right, and then we'll do some of the Guppy. Well, I guess I will need that again in a minute. And again, I'm leaving the ink sort of close by because we're going to use it one more time. Hi, Theresa. How are you? Okay, so now we're ready, whoops, to put that into our little misty. And I've got it situated so that I can just flip it upside down and use it again. So I'm just using Raven ink. And I've got our first slice. And then I'm going to flip it over. And we'll get our second slice. And I'll set those aside for just a second while I get, and these are just scraps that I had. I love using up my scraps. So I have just a bunch of white ones because who doesn't need a bunch of white ones around? I use them all the time. So it just makes it convenient. Over the weekend, I was working on organizing my scraps because they just get out of control. And so I'll have to show you once I finish. I'm almost done. I'll show you how I organize my scraps because, like I said, that's one of my things that helps. But I have a hard time with keeping my room how I want it because I always have scraps around and I don't use them. I forget that they're there. I always want, you know, it's just easier to grab one from a fresh stack of paper. So I was like, this is stupid. So I'll show you what I do. And I don't keep every little tiny scrap, which I guess I'm telling you now. So I'll just wait and be patient and I'm going to make a video about it, whether it's a live or whether it's a regular video. I'm not sure yet, but I will show you my system and you can see what you think of it and see if it works for you. All right, I'm going to put that under there because I keep picking that up. Okay, so now we've got everything ready to go for our last slice that we need. Okay, so now we're just going to cut these little guys out. Actually, before we do that, I think I'll do the next step, which is that we're just going to take our embossing pen. This one, you know, I have this one in my stash, but Darren is putting one. I think it's still sold out, but what you need to do on the website is just hit the notify me button. And when more are in stock, then you will get an email, which I know works because I just got one about the microfiber claws. They're back in stock. So go ahead and do that, and you'll get a notification when we have them in the store again. And because I definitely think that's something that you want in your crafting arsenal. I definitely like to be able to just emboss details sometimes. Sometimes I don't want the entire image embossed. Oh, I forgot to use my anti-static thing. Oh well. I'll use it on the pink one. All right. We'll use our little static bag or anti-static bag. I wish I had remembered, but you know what? We're gonna live. Thankfully, the embossing powder that I'm using today isn't like a solid color, so that will be a little more forgiving. Okay, let's get these guys all embossing powdered up. We'll do this one first. Actually, we could probably do them at the same time. I can tell my air conditioner's on because my embossing powder is blowing. Can you see it?
Want it off?
No, it's okay. Thanks, though. All right. So you can see, do you want to see a little science experiment? You can see there's a big difference when you use it and when you don't. So there you go. All right. Both of them actually have a little bit more in them than I want. So I'm probably because I didn't wait very long before I put it on after I ink blended. And the ink is probably also holding on to some of that powder, which is okay. We're going to just move that and I'll put it all back in there later. Let me just grab, I'll show you a couple of things I use when I do that, when I have spots that I don't want to have on there. So if you go to like the art section in the craft store, they have these little rubber, I don't even know what they're for when you're doing real art, like real, like fine art. This is art. It's just a different kind of art, right? But this is nice because you can get in there and there aren't any brushes to fan out and catch part of the design that you don't want caught. Does that make sense? Also, I use, I don't think I have one handy here. I would show you that too. Oh, maybe I do. Hang on. I also use, let's see if there's any.
Chris asked, what does the anti-static stuff do?
The anti-static bag is great when you're embossing because it makes it so that the embossing powder only sticks where you have your embossing ink. Okay, this is a fat one. You can get these thinner, but this is a blending stump for when you're coloring. I use it a lot when I use colored pencils. And if you get a finer one, this is kind of a nice way to get it to without having the brush. The brush is tricky. The brushes work fine, but sometimes the bristles will fan out and catch the parts that you don't want caught. So if you don't have a really steady hand, it's nice to have something that's not quite so flexible, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna kind of skim off some of the stuff we don't want. And we're gonna cut this out anyway. So I'm not super concerned about it. And like I said, it's gonna be clear. So that's just a little tip of the day. Otherwise, I think I would have just done it anyway. Okay, so I'm also going to use a clothespin so that I don't burn my fingers. All right. So now we just need to cut them out. And I actually fussy cut mine. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing that. I actually have some already done, but I do want to do one so I can show you what else I did. So let's do the yellow one, I think. So I actually cut these away from the, lemon slice, and I'm cutting right on the edge of the black. I want to be in the black a little bit, but only just barely, because I just don't want to have a white line, if that, or a yellow line, I guess, if that makes sense. And then I cut those out, but I'm going to not do that right now. I may need one depending on how it looks when I flip the situation, because like I said, I prepared for it to be, the card to be opposite direction. Okay, so then I'm just gonna take my ink one more time, and I'm just gonna go along the bottom really heavily, just to give it a little more depth, a little more definition along that rind. Is that the rind? The peel? I'm not sure what the difference is. Is the rind the white stuff, or is that's pulp, right? So what's the rind? Is that the same as a peel?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
At least as far as I know.
Gosh, I can't believe I'm as old as I am and I don't know that. All right, so now you can see that just adds a little bit more personality to our lemon slice. And I did that with all of the citrus. And I cut out all of the little, well, I didn't cut all of them out, but I cut out several of the little juice bursts. And I will spare you watching me do that. I cut some out ahead of time. So, which lemon do we like better? I think they're both about the same. Okay. I kind of like that one better, actually. And then I'll just move these ones unless we need them. I've got them handy in case we do. And so I'm going to set those aside for a minute. Set all of those over there for a sec. Can move our ink. We're actually done with that ink now. But now is probably a good time to put our sentiment on. Well, I don't know. Let me look at it for a minute. I have to see how it's going to look now that I'm switching gears on it a little bit. Okay, so we're going to mat this. And I originally had it going this way, but since my big circle's here, it's going to look better on this side, I think. So I'm just going to do a test run. Let's see, do we want... I cut this little piece of orange paper. I think it's, I'll have to measure it. And then I'll tell you the measurements on it. I think it's going to be fine on that side. Okay, so this is... what? It's 4.5 inches long and about 3/4 inches across. Okay, so if you need to know that, this panel here is 3 3/4 by 5, I believe. No, 3.5 by 4 3/4. This one is 3.5. I mean 3 3/4. Sorry, by 5. Got that? So 3.5 by 4 3/4. And 3 3/4 by 5, if you wanted to know. And then I actually made one more mat because I was just feeling like layering a bunch, I guess. And this one is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So let's just go ahead and put those together. Let's just get, well, let's do this first. Let's put our sentiment on. I'm going to put this strip on first so that I can kind of see where that's going to go. And then we'll put our sentiment on. Just so I can space them out. And we'll put this guy kind of right through the center, I think, of that big pink circle. Make sure that that's going to be kind of centered. Yep, that looks about right to me. Or at least close enough to make me happy. Oops. It's a little crooked though. Couldn't do it perfect the first try. That just wouldn't be normal for me. Well, it's still probably not perfect, but you know what? Our lemons are going to camouflage a lot of that, so thank goodness. I'm a fan of camouflage. All right, I think that's gonna be about how it is. So we're gonna probably want our sentiment, which is this cute little sentiment that says "You're the zest." I think we'll put that about right here. And I don't always like sentiments on watercolor paper, but we're gonna give it a try. We're gonna give it a chance. Worst case scenario, we'll pop that puppy on a circle and cover up what we did, but I'm hoping it works. Hopefully that's fairly straight. Oh, I think that looks okay.
Jessica says just joining for a bit. Love what she's seeing.
Oh, hi Jessica, how are you? Thanks for joining. Okay, so glad we tried that because I was hesitant. Okay, so now we can start placing our cute little, well, let's put these on the card bases, card panels, whatever you want to call them, card panels. Okay. I think we just about have this. Oof, that tape holds right on. Oof, let's see if I can get it on there without being completely crazy crooked. I think we are close. Close enough. Okay, so now I'm going to use some foam for our citrus. I like a little bit of dimension in there. I will show you a trick. So you know the little things that come off? If you put them halfway on, then as you're kind of positioning things, you can have them stick on there, get them kind of where you want them, but you're not committed to it forever, and then you can kind of peel them off. Sometimes you don't even have to move them off of the thing to peel them off. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I love how that just pops them right up. So we need to add, I'm actually thinking they're okay where they are, so I can kind of go through and I can actually leave it where it is and kind of just move the little paper out, the little backing. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab my trusty little skewer. Actually, you know what? I think I might use, do I have my detail grabber? Well, I don't want to spend any more time looking for it, so we'll just use that. Okay, so we're just going to use this and we're gonna use some of our Barely Art glue. And we're just going to add some little squirts, some little drops. Make sure I've got the right color. I'll put that guy right there. Now, if I wanted to move that, I have this little guy to help me, but I don't think it needs to move, so that's good. And I don't like that one. Let me see if there's another one that I like better. Yeah, I like this one better. I kind of cut too close on the black on that one. Let's kind of do this one right there, I think. That's when I use this guy. And it's kind of nice to clean the ink from around the edges if your ink kind of bleeds out from under it. Okay, so now we need our yellows. So looks like we've got one there. And I think we'll just kind of, I want 3 of them. I think that will work, yep. Okay, and let's do another big one, maybe right here. And then we'll do 2 on this side. Okay, so we've got all of our little squirts where we want them. I don't think we need any more than that. And then I think let's add a couple of little jewels. We'll add a pink one there. Let's put a yellow one. I'm just going to use all little ones. And we need an orange one on there. I think we'll use the darker orange. I'll do one more of the orange. Right there. Those a little... What do you think? Did we go a little too crazy with those, or do you think those are okay? You like it, Darren? Yeah. All right. So now we just need to add this to our card base, and we will have our cute summer citrus card. This right here is one of the pre-scored, pre-cut card bases. And if you haven't heard me say it before, I'll say it again. I absolutely love them. Hi, Anne-Marie. How are you? All right, so now the big debate. Do we need a bow? I don't think we do. I think a bow is going to be too much, but I have to see anyway. So we'll just look. We can always take it off, right? All right, where are my scissors? There they are. Okay. Let's see what we think. Just gonna tie a double bow if it needs it. No, I like it better without. I kind of knew I would.
Glad to catch you live.
Anne-Marie, I'm glad you caught us live too. All right, so this, you can see we used our fairy dust and it made those kind of look juicy. And like I said, Darren will have everything up on the site, and I'm gonna go ahead and flip my camera. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have something planned for next week. I'm excited for you to create along with me. And I hope that you're having fun. I hope you're making fun summer crafts. And I do want to wish you a safe and happy 4th. And have a fun, maybe crafty weekend if you have time to do that. And I will catch you next week. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate your love and support. And I will see you again. Bye-bye.